Hey guys, Adam here with AmericanTrucks.com. Today we're taking a closer look at installing and of course dyno testing the Diablosport inTune i3 tuner for all 09 to 14 5.7 liter HEMI equipped Ram 1500s. Now before we jump into all the details of the tuner and the preloaded tunes themselves, what do you say we head right on over to the dyno graph to take a look at some results? Well guys, we have our 2014 5.7 Ram strapped down to the dyno. It's got 33-inch all-terrain tires on it, 93 octane in the tank, bone stock otherwise. We ran a baseline run and walked away with 292 horsepower, 291 pound-feet of torque at the rear wheels. We then uploaded our Diablo tune, or the 93 octane tune, on our inTune i3 tuner, ran it again under the same conditions and walked away with 312 horsepower, 324 pound-feet of torque at the rear wheels. That's good for peak gains of 20 horsepower and 32 torque at the rear wheels. Now those numbers alone are really impressive, but looking at the curve, it gets even better. We're seeing our max curve gains at about mid-range 4,500 RPMs. We're seeing up to 57 horsepower and 66 pound-feet of torque at the rear wheels, making a huge difference in drivability, making this truck feel a lot less sluggish, especially with bigger wheels and tires. Rams are a little bit tough to run on the dyno. They want to downshift even in manual mode in fourth gear, which is our 1-to-1, but we walked away with some pretty impressive power on our truck from a simple 93 octane tune. You should be checking out the Diablosport inTune i3 tuner for your own HEMI if you're looking for an extremely easy to use preloaded or canned tuner, one that is capable of recalibrating for higher octane fuels to really net a little bit more power and torque as you saw from our dyno graph, and something capable of recalibrating your bigger wheels and tires here to correct your speedometer. Now, anytime you do add bigger wheels and tires like our truck here, it can throw off that speedometer up to about 10 miles per hour depending on your tire size. So that can all get corrected in the adjustable parameters in the preloaded tune here on your new i3. Now, as you saw from our dyno graph, we can expect pretty impressive gains from a very simple 93 or Diablo tune loaded onto this tuner with our 5.7. We saw really good low to mid-range curve gains, especially with torque, which is going to make a huge difference to drivability. The Diablosport has a number of parameters you can adjust, such as tire size, gear ratio, you can adjust rev and speed limiters, and there's a number of other parameters in both easy and advanced tune processes. And I'll walk you through what that looks like in just a little bit. The Diablosport is good for a number of other things as well. Now, if you're looking for a custom tuner, there are a lot of other options on the site, but this is simply that packed, preloaded, or canned tune. So right out of the box, it's ready to go. But along with that comes their diagnostic scan tool. Now, anytime a check engine light comes on, you can plug this guy in, read the code, get a description, and you can clear it right then and there to get that light off of your dashboard, which we all know is really annoying to look at. You can also data log your vehicle's performance to track its performance via software such as LiveLink on your computer if you want to take that a step further to see how it's doing. The tuner also has Wi-Fi connectivity, so you can wirelessly update the software and firmware, which makes life a little bit easier. The device comes in right around $450. The install is going to get 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. You can tackle it in about 30 minutes or so in the driveway at home. All you have to do is update the device for your vehicle, go through the tuning process, and I'm actually going to show you those features, so what do you say we just get started? First things first here, grab the harness included in the kit along with your i3 tuner. You're going to plug this guy into the OBD-II port located under the driver's side dash, which is straight under that steering column. So once you have that plugged in, you can grab the other end of the cord and plug it right into the bottom of your i3. All right, from there we can get to work. All right, as soon as you plug this guy in, you want to put your key in the ignition and put it in accessory or run mode, and then hit yes on the terms of agreement, which is the first thing that boots up in the main menu. Now at the main menu, you'll have 3 options. You have Tune Vehicle, Scan Tool, and Settings. We're going to jump right into Tune Vehicle to get things going there. All right, you may be prompted to update your device. You definitely need to go through that process before continuing. So we're going to hit continue here and go through the update. All right, so from here, we have 2 options. We have Easy Tune and Advanced Tune. Now, Easy Tune takes you through a very straightforward process with some of the simpler preloaded tunes, very few parameters that you can actually access and change. Advanced Tune takes that a little bit further. I'm going to select Advanced Tune to show you guys what that looks like. Now from here, you can do a quick adjust to change small parameters, or you can go to Tune Select. Select Tune Select. We can install our standard tune, and we have a couple of different options. We have a Diablo tune, which is straight for 93 octane. We have a tow tune, 91 octane tune. There's a jammer. There's a couple of different options. Miles per gallon booster tune. You can modify the stock option for things like octane levels. I'm going to go with Diablo tune because we want to select the 93 octane option that's going to net the best gains. All right, so now it's going to save a backup of your vehicle's stock info. It'll save the stock file to the device here so you can revert back to stock at any time. So I'm going to select yes. All right, so we're going to hit continue for additional programming. And from here, you don't want to unplug the device. You don't want to turn the key off unless prompted to do so on the device itself. It'll load 0 to 100 probably a couple of times, so you just want to have some patience, and we'll come back at the end. All right, so we're going to turn the key off and press continue. And back on. All right, so once we have that taken care of, we have a couple of different options to take a look at. So let's select modify parameters to see what options we can change. So we have cooling fans, we can turn on and off, idle. We're gonna hit no on adjust. I'm gonna go down. We can change our tire size, that's something important. We do have 33s on this truck, so I'm gonna change that. Type in 33, hit enter. And I'm gonna hit save. From there, it'll adjust that parameter. All right, so we're gonna hit continue, key off, back on. All right, so we can keep going down. You can see wide open throttle, fuel, and spark. There's a couple of different parameters there you can mess with. So aside from tires, we're gonna keep that the same. And we're gonna hit apply tune. From here, it'll jump into actually writing the tune and applying those options. And finally, it'll take us back to the main menu and we'll be done. All right, so it's prompting us to turn off again and press continue. And back on. All right, there you have it, tune complete. You can unplug, press continue, it'll reboot the device and send you back to the main menu. All right, from here I want to show you guys some of the other features of the inTune i3 device. So aside from Tune Vehicle, which you saw can hold those preloaded tunes, it has the ability to hold custom tunes if you have them loaded as well. Not in this case scenario, but it is possible. You also have some of those modified parameters we looked at. Under that, you have Scan Tool. Now you want to make sure the key is in the run position, and what this will allow you to do is read any DTCs, so diagnostic trouble codes being your check engine light. If that light comes on the dash, you can plug this guy in, you can go to your scan tool, you can show the trouble codes, you'll get a description, and you can clear them right there. Now, data logging will record your vehicle's performance, and you can see how your vehicle's stacking up, take a look at the logs, it'll show you things like knock and timing, a number of other parameters as well. So all that's built into this device too, so you can data log right on the i3 device. Under that is some settings. Pretty straightforward, a couple of just simple settings. Wi-Fi configuration is pretty important for guys looking to do wireless updating to the software and firmware of the i3 instead of having to plug it into your laptop. The only catch there is you have to be within range of a Wi-Fi network. Analog input setup, you can select here and add or adjust existing parameters. You can delete parameters, and you can restore default configurations within the parameter settings. Sound and display, pretty straightforward. You can adjust brightness, you can adjust the volume because there is a beep every time you select something on the menus. And advanced options gives you things for check for updates, connecting to Wi-Fi of course, and then you have tech support there as well. And finally, if you have demo mode just for brand new devices, sometimes come straight off in demo mode, you can enable or disable that at the bottom there as well. And really, that's your i3 device. The question mark up there gives you some frequently asked questions and help menu options, but other than that, it's a very straightforward device. That's going to wrap up my review, install, and dyno test for the Diablosport inTune i3 tuner, fitting all 09 to 14, 5.7 liter Ram 1500. Now, if you want to pick this guy up for your own truck, you can do so right here at AmericanTrucks.com.